math students, mathletes. This is chapter 4.8 in Algebra 2, Dolciani, structures and methods. I think it's called Algebra and Trigonometry. It's the second part of Algebra, aka sometimes called Algebra 2. But they just call it Algebra and Trigonometry, and it's a second book, Structures and Methods. This is a great section, 4.8, problem solving using polynomial equations. So how do we apply this in real world or in word problems? So we're going to find some ways. I love this example, find two consecutive even integers such that the sum of their squares is 100. So when we say consecutive integers, so consecutive integers would be n, and then the next one would be n plus 1. So this is going to equal the first number. This is going to be our second number, because we know that numbers are 1 away from each other when they are consecutive. So that would be the consecutive integers. When we see consecutive even numbers or integers, you're going to have n is going to be your first number, and n plus 2 is going to be your second number, because when we look at even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, etc., we notice that they are 2 apart from each other. 2 apart. So that's why we're going to add 2 to both of them. Now here's the tricky part. This is what get students consecutive odd integers. And let's think about it. N would be our first number. And guess what our second one would be? Not n plus 1, not n plus 3, n plus 2. But Mr. Mac, wouldn't that make it even? No. No, it would not. Let's think about it. If our numbers, let's do odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7. Notice they are plus 2 away also. Yes, I understand that. That's why I thought I should add 3, because it needs to be odd. Well, that's not true. All of it is going to be set upon what your first number is. And what do we know that first number is going to be? It has to be an odd. It said that it's going to be an odd. So if we want to find the next number, if my first number is odd, I have to add 2 to get to the next odd number. So plus 3, if 1 was my first number and I did plus 3, that would take me to 4. That would not be the consecutive odd. You know what I mean? So we understand that this n will always be an odd number. So that's a little important thing, something for you to learn. And now we have to translate two consecutive integers. So we have n is our first integer, and n plus 1 is our second integer. We always like to, such that the sum of their squares, so the first number squared plus the second number squared, we have to use, yep, here it comes, Chewbacca, because that is our second integer. Sum of their squares is equal to 113. So that's how we'll do it. We need to simplify this. We should know how to simplify a binomial squared. That's n squared plus 2n plus 1. That's what this equals. Quantity of n plus 1 squared would give me that. Now we need to simplify. So we get 2n squared plus 2n plus 1 equals 113. Let's simplify first. And then we want to set it equal to 0. because we're going to use the 0 property, or we're going to factor minus 112 equals 0. So now we're set equal to 0. Set equal to 0. Are we in standard form? Yes. Is there a common factor? Yes, there is. We can factor out of 2. We get n squared plus n minus 56 equals 0. So next thing, is it a special case? Is it a binomial square or difference of squares? Nope, 56 is not a perfect square. So we're going to go to a times c, where a is 1, c is 56. Factors of 56 are going to be 1 and 56, 2 and 28, 3, no, 4, yes, 4 and 14, 5, no, 6, no, 8, oh, well, let's do 7 and 8. Now our signs are different, and our bigger is going to be positive. So positives will be all on the right side, negatives will be on the left side. 55, 26, 10, 1. Which one's equal to my middle? My middle has a coefficient of 1. That's my middle, so I'm going to take those two terms. So we have 2 times n squared minus 7n plus 8n minus 56 equals 0. Let's factor by grouping. We have 2. Let's use a bracket. We're going to factor out an n, you get n minus 7. We're going to factor out an 8, you get n minus 7 equals 0. And we get 2 times n minus 7 times n plus 8 equals 0. The product of these three numbers must equal 0. So we set each one equal to 0. 2 is 2. It can never be 0, so that's not a solution. But we're going to see what value would make that 0 and what value for this would make it 0. So we'll add 7. We'll subtract 8. And we get our two solutions for n. And it'll be important for us to, well, we go back. So we either have two situations. Situation 1, when n equals, what was it, 7? Positive 7? Positive 7. And situation 2, when n equaled negative 8. So if we plug n in, we get n plus 1 is going to be 8, and n plus negative 1 from negative 8 is negative 7. So those are my two solutions. You can either do 7 and 8 or negative 8, negative 7. Those are the two solution sets. I don't know how we write that. How would we write it? I mean, I like that. I don't know if math teachers, but if we square 7, those are consecutive integers. Integers are whole numbers and their opposites. Hence why we can use negative solutions. Negative 8 and negative 7, squaring them and adding would make 113. Find two consecutive even integers. So the first even would be n. The second even would be n plus 2. And such that the sum of their squares is 340. So you have n squared, n plus 2 quantity squared equals 340. Same thing. We're just going to continue on with this. Same as we did number 1. We should know that that's going to equal 4n plus 4 equals 340. We should be able to square those. 2n squared plus 4n plus 4 equals 340. Set it equal to 0. 2n squared plus 4n minus 336 equals 0. Let's factor out a 2. We get 2n n squared plus 2n minus 168 equals 0. Let's just make sure. Mr. Max pretty good with his division, but let's just make sure. 168. And now we want to find factors of 168 when subtracted equal to, A times C, 1 times 168, 168, 1 and 168, 2 and 84, 3, 6, 7, 7, 14, 15. Yep, 3 goes into that. 5, 56. 4, yes, 42. I'm looking at this one because if I take a 2 from that to make that 4, that gave me 42. That's how I do that real quick in my head. 5, no. 6, yes, because 2 and 3. So that is, take the 2 from 56 and we get 28. 7, doubt it. 8, yes. 21. 9, no, because 1 plus 6 plus 8 is 15. 9 doesn't go into 15. That's the 9 divisibility rule. 10, no. 11, 12, yes. 12 and 14, and there it is. So signs are different. Bigger is positive, and subtracting makes my 2. So n squared minus 12n plus 14n minus 168 equals 0. Factor by grouping, we'll take an n minus 12, factor out a 14, and we get n minus 12 equals 0. 2n minus 12, n plus 14. So we should start getting good and understanding that n is going to equal 12, n is going to equal negative 14. So my 2 pairs are going to be when n equals 12, my second one will be 14, and when n equals negative 14, my second will be negative 14. So those are my 2 pairings. So my solutions are 12 and 14, or negative 14, negative 12. Those are the solutions. Just making sure we are good. There's no order that you need to put it in. Find 2 consecutive odd integers. So first odd is going to be n. Second odd is going to be n plus 2, whose product is 195. I like that. N times equals 195. So we will simplify by distributing. And now we're going to set it equal to 0. N squared plus 2n minus 195 equals 0. Factors of 195, because a is 1. I did my a times c. 1, 195, 2, no. 3, yes, 3 goes into that. 3 goes in 65? 65, 18, 15, yeah, and 18, yeah, that's good. 4, no. 5, yes. 5 and, well, what's that? That's 13, 39? That's 45, 15, and 4, yep. 6, no. 7, no. 8, no. 9, no. So we're going to make 13 and 15. Ha-ha! There you are. Signs are different. Bigger is positive. Positive, negative, 2. So we get n squared minus 13n plus 15n minus 195 equals 0. Factor out an n, factor out a 15, and we get n minus 13, n plus 15 equals 0. So n is going to equal 13, or n is going to equal negative 15. So my 2 factor pairs are going to be when n is 13, the second consecutive would be 15, or when n is negative 15, my next consecutive would be negative 13. So those are the two pairings. These are fun, right? I mean, hopefully you see that they're fun. The sum of a number and its square, woo, is 42. So n equals the number. So the sum of the number plus its square equals 42. So let's set it equal to 0, and let's put it in standard form. And factors of 42, whoa, 1 and 42, 2, well, we know it's 6 and 7. I don't know if you knew it was 6 and 7. Signs are different, bigger is positive. So, I mean, that's when you get good. You don't have to go through factor pairs. So n squared minus 6n plus 7n minus 42 equals 0. Factor in an n, factor out a 7. You get n minus 6, n plus 7. Your n is going to equal 6, and your n is going to equal negative 7. So the number can be negative 7 or 6. Oh, that's so cool, though. So negative 7 plus 49 gives you 42, and 6 plus 36 gives you 42. That's pretty cool. That's a good one. I mean, to think about how that worked. All right, now we get area problems. Area problems will be equally as fun and challenging, and you'll have some different things to sort of navigate, like area, perimeter, or whatever. So you got to know your formulas for those. A rectangle, you got to understand how to translate information. A rectangle is 5 centimeters longer than it is wide. So if this is the width, the length is going to be L is going to equal width plus 5 because it's 5 longer. And its area is going to equal 176. Well, we know that area equals length times width. So let's start plugging in some values. The area is 176. The length, we can't solve it with two different variables. So we're going to substitute. That's why we like the fact that they told us that the length is a little bit longer than its width. So where we see L, we're going to substitute this W plus 5. So we'll say quantity W plus 5 times the width. We love that. We have one variable. We are going to distribute because we got to set it equal to 0. So you're going to simplify first, then set it equal to 0. So we get 0 equals W squared plus 5W minus 176. Factors of 176. When subtracted equal 5, I have no idea. I know it's not 1 and 176. I know it's not 2 and 88. 714, no. 3 doesn't go in it. 4 does. 4 and 44? Yeah. 5, no. 6, no. 7, no. 8, yes. 8 and 22. We're not getting closer. 11 and 16. And there's my 5. So signs are different. Bigger is positive. Gives me my 5. So 0 equals W squared minus 11W plus 15W minus 176. Factor by grouping. W minus 11 plus 15, W minus 11. 0 equals W minus 11 times the quantity W plus 15. You're going to like this. So setting each one equal to 0, you get W equals 11 or W equals negative 15. So You either have a width of 11 or negative 15. That gets negated. We can't have negative distance. So my width must be 11. And if my width is 11, then my length is going to be 16 centimeters. So find its dimensions. So the answer would be 11 centimeters by 16 centimeters. That's how we would give our answer. And is it 5 times longer? Yeah. And does 11 times 16 equal 176? Yes, it does. I already know how to multiply by 11s. Good. An entry hall with an area of 72 square feet. Area of this entry hall. Oh, hello. An entry hall. No, in jolly old England. Lovely. Is 14 feet longer than it is wide. 14 feet longer than it is wide. So it's W wide, and the length again is going to be W plus 14. That would be 14 longer added to the width. Find the dimensions of the hall. Same thing. We're going to do the same thing. Area equals length times width. Area is 72. Length is W plus 14. Width is W. 72 equals W squared plus 14W. Subtract the 72. At least I'm doing numbers that are easier than 176. W squared plus 14W minus 72. Factors of 72 are 1 and 72, 2 and 36, 3, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 3. Ooh, and 9's going to go into this too. 3 is 24. 4, yes. 4 and 18. 5, no. 6, yes. 6 and 12. 9, yes. Oh, 8 and 9. There's my 9. Signs are different. Bigger's positive. So a whole lot more factor pairs that equal 14. That equals my 14. I can just look for it. So we get 0 equals W squared minus 4W plus 18W minus 72. Because that's my middle, I use those numbers to break up my middle term. Factor by grouping. I'm going to factor out a W. I get W minus 4. Factor out an 18, and that gives me W minus 4. 0 equals W minus 4. W plus 18. So setting equal to 0, W equals 4. W equals negative 18. You can't have negative distance. So my width is going to be 4. My width is 4, and my length is going to be 18. I look for the units, so my answer is 4 feet by 18 feet is going to be the dimensions of the hall. Is it 14 longer? Yeah. And does 4 times 18 give that number? Yes. The height of a triangle is 3 centimeters less than the length of its base, and its area is 27 centimeters squared. So we have a triangle, and this is the base, this is the height. That's how it works. The height of the triangle is 3 less than the length. So height equals length minus 3, or base. We can do B minus 3. Base equals B. What is the formula for area of a triangle? 1/2 base times height. Area equals 27. 1/2. The base is B. The height is B minus 3. Oh, we got some multiplication to do here, folks. So 27 equals, we'll distribute that first. We have 1/2 times B squared minus 3B. We have, I was thinking of something I could do, minus 3/2 B. Minus 27 minus 27. I'm going to do it. 0 equals 1/2 B squared minus 3/2 B minus 27. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Why would you do that, Mr. Mac? Because I want to get rid of these fractions. 2 times 0 is still 0. That's the beauty of multiplying both sides. Now I'm going to multiply everything by 2, which gives me b squared minus 3b. Is that minus? Yeah. Is that minus? Let me make sure. Yeah, b minus 3. Yep, good. And that gives me 54. Now, factors of 54 when subtracted equal 3. 1 and 54, 2 and 27, 3, yes. 9 and 6, hello. Yeah, 6 and 9. Ooh, bigger's negative this time. I need a negative 3 as my middle. So, that's interesting. B squared plus 6b minus 9b minus 54. Factor out of b, we get b plus 6. Factor out of negative 9, we get b plus 6. So b plus 6, b minus 9 equals 0. Whoa, equals 0. So b is going to equal negative 6. B is going to equal 9. Can't have negative distance, so my base is 9. So my base is going to be 9 centimeters, and 9 minus 3, 6 centimeters. So 6 times 9 is 54, multiplied by 1/2 gives us 27. So my dimensions, find the height, or it just says find the height. So my answer, the height is 6 centimeters. Yep. So read the question. Area of a right triangle. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Area equals 96 meters squared. The length of one of the legs is 8 meters less than twice the length of the other. Ooh. So if we'll call this leg L, and so the other leg is going to be twice the L minus 8. That's my other leg. Find the length of each leg. Well, we know the area of a triangle equals base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height. So area is 96. We have the base, which is 2L minus 8 times the height, which is L over 2. We're going to do a little bit more funness. We're going to change it up and see how we do that. So we distribute that. That is 2L squared minus 8L over 2. We can separate that under both, divided by 2, minus 8L divided by 2. 96 equals L squared minus 4L minus 96. We're setting it equal to 0. And all I did was, we know fractions. Fractions, when you have x minus 2 over 3, you know that that means x over 3 minus 2 over 3. When we have like denominators, we can put everything in the numerator. So x minus 3 over 2 over 3. So we just reverse that process. Oops, sorry, going the wrong way. We have 0 equals L squared minus 4L minus 96. Factors of 96, 1 and 96, 2 and 48. 3 yes, 3 and 32. 4 yes, 4 and 24. 5 no, 6 yes, 6 and 16? No. 6? No, that was bad. 6. What does that? What? No, I'm doing some bad math right here. That's correct. Let's do, what's my number? 96. Oh yeah, 96 divided by 6. Yeah, divided by 6 equals what? 96, 6 divided by 6 gives me 16. Yeah, 6 and 16. Sorry, I was looking at the 2. My bad. 7, no, 8 yes, 8 and 12. And there's my numbers. Bigger is negative. That gives me my -4 for my middle. 0 equals L squared plus 8L minus 12L minus 96. Factor out an L, L plus 8. Factor out a -12, L plus 8. We get 0 equals L plus 8, L minus 12. We're going to set each one, so L equals -8 and L equals 12. Can't have a negative. I should probably lower that a little bit. And so L equals 12. So if my length equals 12, then 2 times 12 minus 8 is 24 minus 8 is 18. So 18 meters and 12 meters should be the correct length of each leg. Leg 1 equals 12 meters. Leg 2 equals 18 meters. What number is that? 8. Let's look at 8, 16, and 12. Oh! What did I do? Oh, sorry. 24 minus 8 is not 18. 24 minus 8 is 16. Glad I checked. Glad I checked, Mr. Mac. I knew it. My intuition told me I'd made a mistake. A rectangular lot has a perimeter. Ooh, we love perimeters. Has a perimeter, P equals 78. And an area, 350. Find the dimensions of the lot. So if this is X, this is Y. This is going to be X, this is going to be Y. So X times Y equals 350, and 2x plus 2y should equal 78. That's a perimeter formula. Area equals length times width. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. So all we did was substitute that. Now I'm going to, I can't solve it because I have 2 variables, so I'm going to use systems of equations. And there's 2 ways I can do systems of equations, but I'm going to use substitution. So I'm going to turn this equation into y equals 350 minus x. And then I'm going to substitute it in to my y here. And I get 2x plus 2 times 350 minus x equals 78. And that's 2x plus 700 minus 2x. Hiya. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? X time, sorry. That's not what we isolating Mr. Matt. So that's good, right? We should find out when we make mistakes. My y's were going to cancel there, or my x's were going to cancel. So that would have been a big no-no. When we isolate, these are not being added and subtracted, they're being multiplied. So y equals 350 over x. If we divide both sides by x, we get that. Hello, Mr. Mac. Now we'll still substitute it in, which gives us 2x equals 2 times what my y value, plus, we're making silly mistakes. We're getting tired. This will be the last video of the day. Equals 78. This will be a fun one, though. Trust me, there's some hard work still to be done here. Plus, which is 700 over x equals 78. Now we can't have the x's. So much like the other problem, I'm going to multiply everything by x, because that's going to get rid of the x in the denominator. And that's a problem. I don't like that there. So that gives me 2x squared plus 700. So I'm distributing to each one equals 78x. Now we have everything up in the numerator. I'm going to set it equal to 0. 2x squared minus 78x plus 700 equals 0. We can factor out a common 2. X minus 39x plus 350 equals 0. Factors of 350 when added, signs are the same. Ooh, that's going to be good. So 350 factors are 1 and 350, 2 and 175. 3 no, 4 no, 5 yes. 5 is going to be 60. No, 70. 70, Mr. Mac. 6 no, 7 yes. 7 and 50. Are we getting closer? Not yet. 8 no, 9 no, 10 yes, 10 and 35. Uh-oh. I missed it. Oh no, adding. Sorry. Add 10. 14. 14 and 25, which makes 39. Signs are the same. Both are negative. Gives me my negative 39. I was looking. That was the same. So we get 2 times the quantity x squared minus 14x minus 25x plus 350 equals 0. Factor by grouping, we can factor out an x. We get x minus 14. Factor out a negative 25. We get x minus 14 equals 0. 2 x minus 14, x minus, that's horrible, 25 equals 0. So x is possibly 14 and x is possibly 25. That's the first time. That's good because our height and width are exchangeable. So that's why, interchangeable. So that's why we have those two solutions. Find the dimensions of the lot. It's in feet. So the dimensions of the lot are 14 feet by 25 feet is my answer. Cool. Yeah, that's a good one. 10, hypotenuse. Oh, do we have, how many more problems we got here? Oh, this is the last one. Nice. Hypotenuse of a right triangle. So what do we know about hypotenuses? They're opposite the right triangle. This is always going to be our hypotenuse. This is going to be leg and leg. One leg is 7 inches, the other, find the length. Hypotenuse of a right triangle is 13 inches long. How are we going to use that? Well, we have something called the Pythagorean theorem, that the leg of one plus the leg, the square of the other, should equal the square of the hypotenuse. And we have one leg is 7 inches longer. So if this is L, this is going to be L plus 7. And wow, we got a lot of work to do. So the leg squared plus the other leg, which is 7 inches longer squared, should equal 13, or the hypotenuse squared. So that's squared. We should know how binomial squares. That's leg squared plus 14L plus 49 equals 169. 13 squared minus 169. We're setting it equal to 0. We have 2L squared, like terms, on the same side, plus 14L minus 120 equals 0. Let's factor out a 2. We get L squared plus 7L minus 60 equals 0. Factors of 60 when subtracted. 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, and there they are. Signs are different. Bigger is positive, equals 7. So we get 2L squared minus 5L plus 12L minus 60 equals 0. Factor out an L, we get L minus 5. Factor out a 12, we get L minus 5 equals 0. 2 times L minus 5, L plus 12 equals 0. L is going to equal 5. L is going to equal negative 12. Can't have a negative length, so 5 is my only length. Find the length of each leg. We are in inches, so this is going to equal 5 inches. And the other is going to equal 5 plus 7, or 12 inches. So leg 1 is going to be 5 inches. Leg 2 is going to equal 12 inches. Yes. All right. Again, I say this after every single video. If you can do these problems, then you're going to be very successful in Algebra 2. These are the foundational work in Algebra 1 that you should be proficient at. Yes.